feeling, like just by looking at them.
Teleport.
Be able to teleport.
I would like to fly.
Flight.
Flying. Actually, teleporting. That's cap. Teleporting would be much better. I play RuneScape for fun.
Play tennis.
Not really secret, but I play card games.
I like to DJ on the side.
Eating.
Queuing up Pokemon Showdown.
My secret hobby is collecting Pokemon cards.
I like fitness.
Collecting Labubus.
I like this tone. Yeah. My intuition is telling me there'll be better days. I sit in silence and find whenever I meditate, my fears alleviate, my tears evaporate, my faith don't deviate, ideas don't have a date.
What's going on? How was map one?
Good. Ups and downs. We're up in the beginning.
As we speak, I'm at peace, no longer scared to die. Most niggas don't believe in God, and so they terrified. It's either that or they be fearing they gon' go to hell. Asking the Father for forgiveness got them overwhelmed.
No more than Calamity though. Left in 5, he'll be shut down. The rotation was for Cumberland, but St. Clair breaks the kidding me. What the heck is that? Situation now 1-on-1, 1 HP on this solo. 1 bullet is a 4-person 1v5. Stand against the rest.
Guy to this ball, guiding it down, maybe even getting one for the road.
Our own standards here in this overtime period, because if we concede a goal, it's over for them.
He's doing a lot of damage, but he's got to TP over. He avoids Ego.
Bob Waena, no flash, no problem. St. Clair.
First gamer tag in like 2008. I had the gamer tag Apple I-50.
McBender 91.
Alonso.
Oh, it's a terrible gamer tag. Dan2 Rock 4.
God Rupert. C9 Frosty. I wasn't on C9.
Sock my sock. Like the Pokemon, not like I don't know. Yeah.
Electro Knives. Oof, oof. 2 Z's, by the way. Oof. I don't know what I was thinking.
It was like either Mega Jack or Super Jack and then some numbers when I was like 6 years old on Minecraft.
That's absolutely horrible.
What I'm most looking forward to is to see like all the boys make it. Div Winland.
I think it's just a win. Like, our team has been going through a lot of changes. I want to see how far we can push it and see if we can finish third or get like a podium.
Looking forward to competing with tough opponents and having a good time with my team.
I really want to break that top 5, top 4 threshold.
Winning seal.
I'm looking for a revenge on CCO.
Getting top 4. To be honest, nothing. I don't really have anything to look forward to. Next semester is what I'm looking forward to.
I'm looking to win CCL. We only lost that one, so.
What's up, guys? We're here with members of the Overwatch team for a Pokemon Roulette Wheel Challenge. On the wheel, we have different characteristics of Pokemon that they have to hunt down in the open world. The catch is, all the Pokemon that they have to find have been randomized, and they have to catch a Pokemon with that attribute. First one to get 3 is going to win the challenge.
Yay!
Yay!
W Pokemon! Are you excited for Gen 10, guys?
Yes.
Oh my
Pokemon
God.
Wind and Waves?
Wait, you can't leak that. You're not allowed to leak that.
Sorry.
But we're gonna get canceled by Pokemon.
Yo, MP.
Yeah, no, this map is actually crazy. I'm not gonna lie.
Waterman.
Yo, Chris God, what the hell are you doing, bro? We got a match, bro. You're late.
Yo. I gotta go.
Yo, log in,
Yo,
bro.
I gotta go. Now I'm good.
Classic. Alright, what do we got here? Oh, chat, this guy is cooked. Oh, pre-fire. Pop it open. Warming up those fingies. And now he's just not missing any shots? That can't be how that works. Moving on. Ooh, obelisk. And chimps in VR helmets. And a legally differentiated enough version of film score.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another Saints Gaming CA stream. We got NACE playoffs right now in the Varsity Plus division of Overwatch. St. Clair ACAD going up against Western Michigan Club. I'm Patrick Smoke Chambers, joined by Evan, not really Evan Johnson. We're going to be covering this one for you tonight. Ev, how you doing, man?
Hey, doing good. Good time for the ACAD fans out there.
Yes.
First time we got the ACAD team on stream, so hopefully it'll be a nice debut for them, and I can't really think of a better time to make this debut when you're starting your playoff run right now. Like we said, this is the first round of playoffs for our Varsity Plus division, and our team, they're coming in 10-3, all things considered, out the regular season. So they're coming in as the 11th seed in the playoffs. Western Michigan, the 38th seed. So bit of a gap there. But I mean, when you look at least on paper, both these teams coming in 10-3. So we'll see how they match up against our ACAD team. But from what we've seen so far, this ACAD team for St. Clair, sort of like the varsity team, they've been very strong all season.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to agree with you there. What's the breakdown? I know there's obviously the round robin and the Swiss stage between these two teams. So what are we looking at, sort of who's had the stronger showing thus far in terms of, I know overall they're the same, but who's looking stronger in the more recent seed?
Well, it's sort of, you can sort of look at it two different ways. When you look at the ACAD team, they go 5-0 in round robin play, 5-3 in Swiss. Western Michigan, very similar, 6-2 in Swiss, but then 4-1 in round robin.
Okay.
So when you kind of break it down, both teams, like we said, both technically 10-3, the way you say it, but you know, strengths either in round robin or Swiss. So it's kind of hard to really differentiate, at least on paper. But I think the seeding is really what says more than anything in this situation, where St. Clair coming in as the 11th ranked team, Western Michigan coming in as the 38th team, and we can kind of take a look and see like how many different teams there are, like where, you know, seed 38 sits on the totem pole. Really, of the playoffs here. It looks like, take a look at group. Well, there's like 8 groups for this. Or 6 groups for this. So there are a lot of teams in these playoffs. It looks like it goes down to seed 46, 48 out of 48 teams.
Okay.
Western Michigan is ranked the 38th on that list. So
that sounds extremely surprising based on the record, but I would definitely think that
skill.
Yeah, maybe.
Because when you look at other NACE leagues, I mean, like our varsity teams, you know, they would play teams in the playoffs that weren't in the Super Conference, even though they technically were seeded a little bit closer, you know. But we've said it so many times, there are definitely levels to this. And I'm hoping that the level that the ACAD team comes out on tonight should be a good one. Oh, no way Steph just hit that. That's a bad clip to put in the pregame replay. I'm sure Steph was going to play better than that. I mean,
they're locked, I swear.
I've seen Steven play many times before. I've played against him for, you know, remember we had to do those tournaments for Sean's class.
Yeah.
The esports management class. Steve's, he's cracked at Overwatch. I mean, he's going to be sort of like one of your main DPS players. Another one we want to highlight, you know. He's a legend around St. Clair College. If you've been to our tournaments, you definitely know this guy, Kevin Fart. You were talking about him specifically and how like nuts this guy is.
Yeah, like my Winter Wonderland too, the one that for the prod staff, me and Owen were a part of. Yeah, that was insanely hilarious. You commentated some matches as well.
That might have been one of my first ones.
I don't remember if you covered his game or not. I don't think so. I think all I remember from that tournament was Daniil hyping that guy up.
Yeah.
Like nonstop. He could not keep that name out of his speech. And now, right, just talking about Kevin Fart and Steph, we might as well break down the rest of the team here with Bast, Sammy, and Aesthetic Sock as well being on that forefront of the lineup. Looking at Western Michigan, who are their 5 that they're electing to bring out right now?
On Western Michigan, you got Alacrity, it's like Dysania, I believe it is, Jonah, Top, Rammer King, and Turtle Justin.
Okay.
So this is a team that, I think ACAD, when you start to get into these like lower levels where it's not varsity, it's really tough to find individual information on these players. Western Michigan, they don't even have a Wikipedia page.
I think we have like ranks, but even then, that doesn't really mean a whole lot, because you could always just have a low rank and just scrim a whole lot in Overwatch and be better.
If you're looking at Western Michigan, Alacrity, Master 5, another Master 5 in Jonah, Turtle Justin, Diamond 4.
Right.
Raymer King, Platinum 2, Dysania, Diamond 2, and then what I assume is their sub, Diamond 5. I should point out, though, their coach's name, at least their coach's in-game name, is not Evan. So I'm coming after you, man. You're trying to steal some of my flow there. I mean, I don't know what we're doing, but we might have to settle the score at some point.
Well, I think, you know, if we win, you keep your title of name. If they win, you have to change your caster name. Could you imagine? We might get the Epic Canadian 99 back in.
It might happen. Or what do we shorten that? What can we shorten that to? Or could we shorten Epic Canadian? Because that's a mouthful. Let's
Can
be
you
honest
imagine
here.
if we
That's-
just do the alliteration? We just go Epic Evan. This is Epic Evan.
Let's not do that. That is.
Hayden's
hey,
loving
Fraud loves it, but I don't know if Epic Evan loves that. But we'll
Hey.
workshop it a little bit for the. What about 99?
Just
the
99? The great one?
Yeah. Or if you're got any fans of Star Wars: The Clone Wars in the audience, shout out. That was a character in the show.
Ooh.
But, well, like I said, we'll workshop that. But either way, I mean, when you take a look at the skill for this WMU roster,
Sure.
I mean, obviously we talked about, you literally just mentioned it, that skill is not everything. I think that definitely is going to come into effect today.
I think when we're talking about that much of a
when you have
discrepancy,
guys
yeah.
like Steven who are coming in as a grandmaster, multiple grandmasters on this ACAD team. Mostly, it's masters or above for this team. So we're definitely going to see that be shown in the match today. But again, you never know. Any given day is the mentality that you need to have if you're WMU, and I think that starts with coming out with a solid map pick to start. I assume it's going to work like the other Overwatch series that we see, where it starts in domination, whether that's like Lijiang Tower or an Ilios. I mean, it is going to, if you're at WMU, you sort of want to come out and, shock the world a little bit. If you can get a good start on map number 1, you're already off to the races.
I can't quite remember if the first team picking gets to pick just the map and if the game mode's fixed, or if they get to simply pick the game mode and the map, and then from there on in, I remember this, it's loser picks game mode and map afterwards, right? So, which, I mean, in reality, that just means when you have a game formatted like that, it makes it even more impressive when our Overwatch teams just go undefeated. Like, that is just simply, it is amazing. And it also shows that they're extremely flexible too. Evan, there are some bigger stipulations though when it comes to what happens for the storylines of the players who take the W on this one. What could we potentially be looking at next? Because I think you were doing some diving on that as well.
We were looking at the bracket, so the winner of this one obviously moves on in playoffs. I mean, I don't think that would that should be a surprise to anybody.
Sure.
That is how it works here. So the winner of this. Oh, no, we actually have the opponent now. The winner of this is going to play number 14, UWG, the Wolves. They just came off of a 3-0 sweep of the University of South Florida's Overwatch club team. So that's sort of where you're looking to next if you're the ACAD team, assuming they
way closer
make it,
a matchup in
assuming they make it that far. And it looks like this UWO, or UWG, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to calculate the record here. 2, 4, 5.
So we make them
I think 9 and 4. I want to say, or no, 10 and 3. They're all okay. So another 10 and 3 team.
Everybody's just 10 and 3, man.
Playing in a 14 seed as well.
Sure.
So you would think that there's some closer skill gap, but again, we won't worry about that until we see 3 on the St. Clair side of the scorebook there. But at least if you're the ACAD team, you at least have the next step in front of you, if that's how you want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that, again, like, the number one thing to me is obviously, Steve is one of your fellow classmates, and you guys are almost at the end of your time at St. Clair, at least in terms of this program, right? You know him very well. We saw he was playing some Tracer recently just on the stage, right? That to me immediately says, like, hey, we're not going to play down to any competition or anything like this. Steven, you can correct me if you're wrong here, if you know him that well. He seems like the type of guy who he's not here to muck about. He's just going to show up and immediately insta-pick as the highest ranked player in this lobby, the highest skill ceiling character to play, and just run a circuit. Because we all know how bad things can get, especially when you look at our varsity team, whenever Razor just locks in the Tracer and is like, okay, yeah, let's just go on a field day.
Yeah, Steven is definitely the kind of guy, I think, who's going to live up, to the bright lights. You can say we were kind of talking beforehand, and he was remiss that we weren't able to stream them last week, But now we have the chance, and he was really excited the fact that the team would get a chance to be on stream. So I think just for that, the fact that the team is going to get their chance today to show everybody what they're made of. Because again, like you said, we give so much attention to our varsity teams that we don't really get to showcase the talent that we have on these ACAD teams. So this is really probably their last chance, you know, besides, you know, if they continue to move on in NACE, you know, we might be able to do this again next week. But you have to go into the mentality that if this is your one shot and, you know, your one opportunity, you need to make sure you make the most of it.
I think what I'm really interested in the most is the fact that, you know, I'm not obviously trying to draw some comparisons. It goes without saying that the players on our varsity Overwatch team are simply some of the best in the world, right? And a couple of them are going to be potentially in line for some roster spots for the most recent announcement of the Overwatch World Cup. Obviously, Team Canada tryouts happening later on this week, and some of these faces here, if not both, might be doing a little bit of potential coverage. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Could happen.
But right now, I think that what goes to show is when you have a team like that, and you know that they've set the bar, I'm not trying to say that I want to see any raises here, but I want to see, comparatively to how our varsity team plays, how these guys are going to work out, right? I know I have obviously some knowledge with some of the ex-ACAD members, especially a co-caster of mine for a long time, Theo the Holy Juan. He was absolutely disgusting. And sometimes I'd go around the open lap, and I'd see some of these people playing. I especially know I've sat by and watched Theo play for even just a couple of minutes, and I see Aesthetic Sock, obviously, on the other side, either playing or coaching or VOD reviewing, etc. But the whole point is, I wonder if the comps that we're going to see here are kind of reminiscent to what actually, like, the meta-defining thing is, because with our Overwatch team, you don't get a lot of games or series where these guys are like, no offense, actually being given a run for their money, if you kind of get what I'm getting at. And I mean, I hate to make it sound that way, but let's be real here, guys. Name a time where you don't see them coming out on top 3-0. I'm telling you, for the amount of casts that I see this Overwatch team not winning 3-0, I could count it on one hand, and I've been here for 3 years.
Yeah.
So it really does go to show me that, and sometimes that's not even with proper like comps. And sometimes they just pick whatever they want. Hell, we saw Soaks literally picking up a jetpack cat last time in for a couple of series, right? So anything can happen with those guys. I want to know if these guys are more tried and true, and if so, what that's going to look like. Because I know our varsity team can get away with having a little bit of fun just because of the ultimate skill diff. Here, I think, especially being on stream, this means a lot to these guys. I want to see how they come out and how they perform and what they bring onto what maps.
No, for sure. And I guess we don't really know what the map pool is. You know,
unfortunately,
you know, there's just a lot. You know, there's
Hopefully
just
soon.
a lot of things that we're sort of missing here. But I guess it'll be a learning experience for us and the audience.
Definitely will.
Right. So I think we're definitely excited to get into it and see what this team has in store. But I think what you're saying is that, like, yeah, like, you know, maybe if they get into a position where they're comfortable, you know, maybe they can, you know, do some fun things. But I don't really see that happening. I think once you get into playoffs, you know what's on the line.
Yeah.
Right, when it gets to this point. And, you know, they're not the number one team in, you know, Varsity Plus. I mean, we were talking about this. Surprise, surprise, it's Maryville's ACAD team. I mean, you know, I'm sure this is shocking to many viewers out there. But, you know, it's like you don't really have the ability to do that when you're sort of fighting for.
Right, you're trying to prove
you're trying
something.
to prove that you know you want to be at the top. So I don't think we're gonna see the team like come out and, you know, do a bunch of really weird things and, you know, try and, you know, just troll a little bit. I don't see that happening. I think the team's gonna be dialed in from the start, and we were told that it shouldn't be too much longer before we get into game. So we'll just get to see it. I will say last ACAD game, they did pretty well. I want to say.
Yeah, why not? Let's
take a look at their most recent game. This was against Stony Brook.
I think
Stony
their
Brook
club?
Development Overwatch, which is a crazy long name for a team.
Can we even get the full on that, or is that not even?
Stony Brook Development Overwatch.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. So, okay, game 1 was a 2-0, so that must have been King of the Hill. I would assume.
Dom, yeah.
2-1 for game 2, or 3-1 for game 2, so that could be...
That could be anything. That could be Flashpoint, that could be Hybrid.
Probably Payload, and then for game 3, 3-1 as well. So they did pretty well, and this was a team, Stony Brook Development. You have a Master 4, Diamond 2, Grandmaster 3, and then a couple other Masters as well. So this is a team that, at least on
That's
paper,
not bad.
is better
Yeah.
than the Western Michigan team coming in. So,
Man, if we're seeing sweeps there, then that tells me that it might be another day.
Well, don't-
for St.
don't-
Clair
don't jinx it,
clean
don't jinx
all
it.
up. I mean, hey, you know
Don't
what?
jinx
We've been
it.
seeing sweeps recently. Some not in our favor.
Well,
I didn't want to I don't want to reference it. Those who know. But I think
this is
this
true.
hopefully, Ev, this is the time for us to get back into our sweeping ways for it going towards our benefit.
well, if you want to know how, it was the Overwatch, our ACAD
Whole
team
lot of
did
sweeps.
They did play against Maryville at one point during
How-
Swiss.
what?
That was one of their losses. It was 2-0 in game 1, then a 2-1 in game 2.
Best of 3.
Best
I'm
of
assuming
3.
that would have been. Sorry, you're saying that's in
I
Swiss?
think they always start with domination or King of the Hill, whatever you want to call it. I think that always is
2-1.
map
That makes
number
me think 2-1 probably either.
Would that be push? No,
Payload
push
or
is
push?
Push is 1-0.
No, you're right. I think that's just payload then, because you can have hybrid where you capture a point and then you move the payload, and that's 2 points.
Payload has like 2 checkpoints.
I'm gonna lose 2.
Well, that's 2, but the end is still 1. So it'd be 3. Right? You get 1 for your first checkpoint, you get another point for second checkpoint, then you get another point if you get 3.
I thought
So
it was just 1
2-1?
checkpoint and then the end.
Maybe 2-1 me. I'm trying to think like what wrote that.
I mean, unless the losing team picked another domination.
I mean, that's
Could have been.
possible. Definitely an interesting choice, but it's certainly possible. I feel like I'm blanking now. My Overwatch.
I don't think you're blanking. I think you're completely valid. I'm trying to think right now of like what that could be. I mean, at the end of the day, we can say, hey, you know what? For the number 1 seed, yes. Well, it is a sweep on paper. We did take a map, or not a map off of them, but like a round off of them.
Yeah.
So we
Every
do
other
know
game-
what we're capable of. Our floor is that we obviously can beat them at some point.
Every other game was a sweep for us. Even the games that they lost, Akron Gold, a 2-0 loss, and CSU Black, a 2-0. But everything else, every other win, was a sweep.
Well, that means scientifically speaking, if we win game 1, there's no reason to play the other 2. I'm just kidding.
Well,
it also means if we lose game 1,
then you're in trouble.
Guys, we FF.
Then you get in trouble.
Get it. Let's just go home. Get your
But-
jackets on. But no, I look. You know, I'm a little excited to see what these guys have to offer. Obviously, it's not every day, like you've said before, that we get to showcase our ACAD talent, and hopefully, we're not waiting too much longer.
Yeah, I
because
think we're
the scheduled
just-
match time was 8:30, and we're 12 minutes overdue now.
Well, and I'm interested like how this works because we don't know, like we don't have comms, right? Like we don't know if the Western Michigan is reported.
Can
Because
you imagine
the way
they just FF?
The way it works in NACE is that if your team doesn't report within the first 15 minutes after the scheduled game time, then that's an automatic FF. I mean, again, so they're in lobby. Okay, so they're in lobby. Oh, it's just 10 spectators in the lobby. I guess Western Michigan bringing the whole student body in to watch this one. The whole gang is there. I guess we're just sitting here waiting for it to start. I don't know if we're missing any players or whatnot, but hard to say.
I mean, does that mean that we're technically playing an away game if they have that many supporters in the server
I think so,
too?
but I mean, we also have the viewership on Twitch.
True. I see you, Western Michigan. Try to pull a fast one on us.
All 8 strong.
Mm-hmm.
All 8. Wait, hold on. I shouldn't say that because we're also diversifying our platform, streaming on YouTube and Facebook as well.
Oh yeah.
So, and yeah, you can bring that up as well. If you didn't know, we do also stream on YouTube and Facebook. So,
Hey.
if you have anybody who's really into Facebook live streaming, you send them over here.
Let them know.
And okay, sorry, no Facebook Live. I guess that got cut. That got cut. I'm just spreading misinformation on the internet. But we did.
That's okay.
We
Owen
did
can
have
dream.
some YouTube viewers. I believe. I would hope.
Well,
whatever platform you like to watch us on, that's where you should go. I think ideally you should have the Twitch stream on your first monitor and then your YouTube stream of us on the second monitor, or at least on your phone, so we can double the viewership.
There you go. Hey, you know what? I'm all for it. More eyes witnessing the greatness that our teams can can instill upon some of these other schools. And hopefully we see some of that tonight. But
I would love to.
8:45. I'm getting told that we're all in lobby. Game should be starting soon. Just going to check in with Prod. Do we have, like, maybe even just a map confirmation by this point if we have a lobby going? It's going to be Lijiang Tower. So there you go.
I can't believe it. It's like any other.
Who knew?
It's like any other Overwatch stream.
I could have probably pre-fired that one, but
probably
yeah.
could have. Shout out pre-fire. And now I'm good because I know what the map is.
I love the references. I love it, but
If only we could have done that at the banquet. That would have been so funny.
Oh, it was so good too.
Maybe that's how we intro the last stream. We just take that bit idea.
Oh,
and then we
I'm
just
liking
do
it.
live.
I'm liking it.
I don't know when the last one's gonna be, but we'll have to plan that out. We'll have to make that happen. Maybe on Wednesday we can do that. Because we're streaming GC on Wednesday.
Do we have any streams? Then we would obviously have
my
streams
God.
the week after that, right? Like I would think.
I would think so.
Yeah.
Prod just came here and made a mess.
Yeah, I mean, I guess we'd have to see like in our next meeting, but
yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
I was almost
Should
I almost might not have been present for that. A pre-fire pack almost took me out.
I almost caught the one that was thrown at me.
Hey, you know what? Look, we're having fun on Prod.
Just a little bit.
Hopefully, look, for those who don't know, Owen threw a pre-fire pack at me, right? And it hit my water bottle and it spilled like all
Wait, why?
over
Oh, okay. I was
my
gonna say,
pants.
No, don't say that.
And
Don't say that.
no,
bro.
it's great. I'm just
we don't wanna
hoping
get in
that for
trouble.
our CS party
Should we stream
next
that?
week, that he has as good aim as he just did throwing that pre-fire
Should we
pack at me.
stream
I'm gonna
that?
need that. Huh?
Should we stream that?
I mean, if you want to.
I don't know. We can talk probably about that. Because let's be honest. I think because our team already got seeded for that. Our team's probably not going to win.
That's fine.
Let's
That
be
means
honest.
that
We're
means
not gonna win.
that means no
But-
pressure.
But what if we cast the finals of that? Because again, our team's probably going to lose. So
I mean, look, Ev, to me, it's like if our team does win, that just means it's more embarrassing for everybody else.
could happen.
So, I mean, I don't know about you. I feel no pressure. I think that,
not
honestly,
nervous.
it's a chance for me to just absolutely embarrass some people that have
right.
no right beating me whatsoever.
You know who does have a right to beat St. Clair? It's Western Michigan University. And
Do
we're
they?
gonna prove that right
Who's
now.
the better, not really Evan?
We need to prove. We need to lock in. I don't think there's the stakes have never been higher.
Yeah.
For any St. Clair team at any point in their lifetime.
$10, they have
and
no
we're just
idea.
about to get into game to prove it.
Uh-huh.
To prove why our ACAD team is the superior squad of the two.
Well, Lijiang Tower. It'll be interesting to see what they pick into. I'm expecting, obviously, with the tracer play that we saw earlier, that's definitely going to be one to lock in. As I believe the map they were actually just practicing on.
They were scrimming
that
on
was
Lijiang.
in
Yeah.
Lijiang
Yeah,
Tower.
they were.
Yeah, so there you go. We might have gotten a little bit of a sneak peek to what the comp, at least on the DPS side, is going to look like.
I don't know what Chloe was crashing out over. Hopefully, not an issue.
Oh.
Although Chloe is standing up now, so that's
From
not good.
imperfection,
Oh wait, never
we
mind.
build a new world.
Are we okay? We are okay. And hey,
Oh,
Love Note as well
yo,
playing.
Steven.
So
Steven, no way we're bringing out the Symmetra. I mean, let's
Oh,
run
man.
it. We'll run that. But looks like, unfortunately, our graphic very, very nice looking. It's in a very unfortunate
I can't
position.
see.
I believe Kevin Fart is playing Sojourn.
Yes, you would be right.
Just from the bottom 1/16th of the player icon. But yes, Steph hopping on that tracer like we suspected. But it's gonna be Jonah finding that first pick, bringing out the Sigma.
Yeah,
real Sigma male hours for Western Michigan University's club team. They find themselves on the point first. Sammy sort of on an island on the outside, can't really get up and close with this diva, and Steven already, he's getting diffed a little bit, but we'll see if the ACAD team has anything up their sleeve.
See, the one thing that I'm not surprised about is obviously Kevin Fart on the Sojourn. This guy was such a damn good shot in the Val tournament that we had a couple years ago for Winter Wonderland that I remember that, again,
there you go.
You're just going to bring out the hit scan. I actually even told you about how I would expect that to be the case, and it definitely is. The thing that I'm a little bit concerned about is more or less the Sigma being picked out here. And the only reason that I'm kind of with that is when you have the D.Va that can play into it, Sigma can generate a lot of space creation off of his rock, obviously, that can knock over people. D.Va's defense matrix can just eat that.
Yeah.
And then doesn't have to worry about it. I say that, Sammy's actually going to get hit by that same rock right now and taken down. So, hey, you know what? While defense matrix is, in theory, a counter out to that rock there that Sigma can throw at you, it didn't work. And Jonah going to be able to help take down the rest of the squad courtesy of a really well-placed Mei wall from his team.
Well, you got to be careful about those Mei walls. You know, Mei sort of finding a little bit of a place now in the DPS meta. I mean, it's almost one you don't really think about when you're thinking about like top tier Overwatch characters. But Mei, you know, very quietly is sort of carving out a very useful place in the meta, and especially with a mode like this where a wall can be the difference between capping a point or not, and that ultimate is so deadly in a lot of situations. And speaking of, we're getting our first couple ults coming out as Kevin Fart, he is getting active, is able to find Turtle, so one support down for Western Michigan. He's really trying to put pressure on the Sigma, but that barrier is just going to save him a little bit. But because of that ult, St. Clair able to create space and take that space as well. A 4-pick run through of Western Michigan, and St. Clair back in control.
Yeah, and shout out Love Note as well for having cleanup on some of those pickups too, as she's going to be able to down 2 here on the Kiriko-Lucio combo. Not surprised at all of the healers that we're seeing come out here from the ACAD side. These headshots are really hitting here. The Kitsune Rush to go down as well. The snare. The Mei ult, though, to counter this out. It's really well done. The Suzu to protect the D.Va for just a little while longer. Kevin Fart with a headshot. That Tracer has the Pulse Bomb available. Not thinking that it's probably going to need to be used here. You can probably just fry down the rest of these players with the man diff alone. So you save that one in the back pocket. A team kill, 75% right now on the docket for St. Clair ACAD, and Western Michigan. They really got to rush right now if they want to get a touch on point.
Definitely an interesting call to pop that Mei ult right there. I mean, St. Clair, they had their Kiriko ult up, so they already had a decent bit of protection, and for what it looked like from where we were sitting, it looks like it really only affected Sammy,
so
but because
damning.
of that one target, you know, your Love Note player, Kiriko, was able to just focus all of their healing onto Sammy, and nobody dies there. I think if Western Michigan is able to maybe use that ult a little bit differently, that fight would have gone maybe the opposite way, and they would have found their way back on, but St. Clair survives, and Kevin Fart looking to try and get some more use out of this second Sojourn ult, because last chance effort for Western Michigan before St. Clair potentially able to take it. They will cap. No ults to work with for St. Clair after that one. You do have the beat drop to work with if you're Western Michigan. So they can hold out for a little bit. ACAD's going to have to wait for the rest of the team to regroup before they make this final push.
Yeah, this is actually a pretty dangerous situation they put themselves in. This one here is going to have to be for all the marbles, so interesting to see where the picks come through. Steve, either got to get to a health pack or think about burning your recall way earlier than you would have initially wanted to. The D.Va dive right here onto the Lucio is huge. Steve goes down, but this Sigma getting low on health. The Kitsune Rush gets popped, though, and that is absolutely massive. You would think that off of this counter pressure right here, it is actually going to be St. Clair who might fall down in this engagement, but the repossession of the Kitsune ult for St. Clair ACAD dodges the rock, the D.Va bomb on point. This one, I'm certain, is all but over. You just have to clean up the Lucio, and you do just that. Well done, St. Clair ACAD. Pending a dive, if they can touch, which they can't, we will take point number 1.
And a really good hold there as well. I mean, you got to give Western Michigan credit. You know, they made it really interesting at the end there. Like you said, that last push had to be for all the marbles. Thankfully, St. Clair are able to use their ults a little bit more conservatively and be a little bit smarter in how they play it. The last-ditch Reaper play didn't really lead to anything for Western Michigan here, but I think they are going to stick with it, as Desania could have swapped to that Cassie, or maybe not, as we maybe get an early TP right off the start from the Symmetra. Looks like Steven is thinking the same thing.
Well, yeah, I mean, Sim here is definitely going to get a lot more play. It's definitely something that I'm not surprised to see is
just the
we've
early
casted
TP and then
Overwatch
the
over
switch
and
right
over.
after. There
Yep.
you go.
Yeah, just to get yourself a
That's
little
tech.
more space, and now the Reaper coming through as well. A great job to utilize, especially when you consider the brawl capabilities. But hey, you know what? You can't use him if he's just going to fall to his death. And I don't know if that was off of the back of maybe a Lucio boop that then this Reaper walked backwards off of, because obviously the kill credit would have went to Bast if that was the case, or if simply there were just some mistakes made in the process. And hey,
we take
Kevin
those.
Kevin felt bad, so we wanted to join him as well to make sure he shares the embarrassment.
Hey, you know, shout out Kevin for
Such a class act.
for doing such a class act. You know, that's what I always say around here. But a really good start to the second round for the ACAD team. I mean, coming right off of a strong end, you open it up the team kill. That's a message sent, and Steven already way in the back of this line for Western Michigan, so he can really do some damage. But Desaney able to find that pick, but does not matter as the rest of the team still doing a really good job at holding this. Western Michigan not able to take a lot of space, and this is sort of the role we've seen Tread really excel in. Sammy, though, clearly has been taking some lessons from the varsity tank expert. Look at this. The way that D.Va is able to just bully you out of space and just dive forward and make things so uncomfortable for you, so valuable to have.
And that kill was so clutch onto Jonah there. I'm pretty certain he had been out of mech for quite a while.
Yeah.
So he had to be very close to being able to pop the recall on the mech again. So clutch from St. Clair to continue to build percentage, but this is kind of where we get into this dangerous territory. This could be Western Michigan's second last team fight that they can take, depending on how long this one even stalls out. St. Clair, they've got every ult that they want. One pick already goes down off the Kitsune Rush. They probably don't really have to expend much more, but hold on, wait a minute. 2 go down, 3 now for St. Clair, and all of a sudden, we might want to just simply concede possession right here. Both of our support ults not available. You have the beat drop soon for Bass, the D.Va bomb, at least still in pocket for now. So, again, you do have a response. You just want to make sure that you keep things steady. Obviously, it's going to have to be one hell of a hold for Western Michigan. And if they concede the point, you're definitely going to have to switch the comp to a dive to see if you can even just touch. But St. Clair, they haven't been put in necessarily the greatest situation. They now have to try to battle for ult for ult as now the beat drop comes through. Picks going the way of St. Clair for now. Bass is going to be the first one to take down the Cassidy. The Lucio getting dove on through from Sammy. Great utilization of the rockets here and looking to demech the D.Va. Bomb gets popped, but everyone can just hide behind that pillar. It's no issue for St. Clair, and off of that, I would expect to see some lineup changes. You only have 10% and sinking to grow up, and yeah, you know, I don't necessarily think they're even going to have an attempt on this one.
Yeah, and I like how the ACAD team really...
Oh, they do!
Ooh, look at this. But I was going to say, I liked how the ACAD team approached that last fight, you know, trying to bait out West Virginia into using some of those ults and just being patient, and that's how they found their way forward. They do lose possession once again.
Wow.
Do still have that D.Va bomb from Sammy available. It's going to take a little bit for Jonah to get back in the fight as well, and when you have guys like Kevin Farr continuing to contribute, you might not even need that D.Va right now, assuming you can take care of this pesky Tracer. Looks like they will be able to. Just a little bit of overtime. They will extend this possession just a little bit longer as Jonah does get back to the fight quickly.
Everyone bully.
The stall is going to let Western Michigan, I should say, one last chance, but Sammy with a big triple, big three-piece love note with the cherry on top. St. Clair take map number 1 in 2-0 fashion.
Man, first point, I should say, a little bit of a barn burner, but that second one, just absolute domination. I was surprised, and all credit to Western Michigan for getting the touchdown. Technically, when you think about it, I was saying, oh, you got to make some changes to your lineup. No, I mean, they kind of are running a dive in a sense. It's just a little more less direct than obviously having the sim. But at the same time, these guys right now, they're looking pretty good. Evan going up 2-0 on map 1, going up to 1-0 in the series. They're starting off things quite well for themselves.
Yeah, they really did. Like we said, we talked about how important it is to get yourself off to a hot start in a series like this. And I think just for mental itself, it's really good to see that the team is looking good. And we take a look at some of these replays as well from map number 1. And I think some stars that we can really look to. Sammy, I think, huge play with the Diva. Kevin Fart as well. Some really big moments. But an unsung hero, I think, your Kiriko Love Note. I think some really great usage of the ult and some Suzu play as well to just keep the team alive. Really, really solid stuff all around, I think.
Well, I mean, 2 Kitsune ults in this point of Lijiang Tower right here, where we saw Love Note absolutely drop 2 huge Kitsune rushes. One that actually won her team the entire round, in my opinion, when it came to counter-ulting and keeping your support ult on the table longer than Western Michigan's. But then also, one in the earlier stages that actually helped keep everybody alive during an opposing Mei ult that was used to kind of see if Western Michigan could bounce back and gain some extremely valuable mid-game control. So well done from Love Note. Obviously, the Kitsune Rush doing wonders for her side. And St. Clair looking strong right now through this first map. Steve, everyone kind of doing their part. I am pleasantly surprised with how Sammy was playing. On the Diva was absolutely tearing it up.
I wasn't surprised at all. I knew before that Sammy was going to have a big game today. I was aware.
Yeah? You're a knower?
Uh-huh. But you know what?
I don't think Not Evan accounted for that, so that's all I got to say.
Hey, I don't know what to say. I mean, he is the lesser name, and so far it's been the lesser team. But there's still a lot of series left to go.
This is really bad on us if we lose.
Well, I really hope we don't. But this is a best of 5, obviously, so there is still time for Western Michigan.
Lots of series left
to get back in. It looks like from what I was seeing, we might be getting a player subbing in. Now it looks like the coach, Aesthetic Sock, Chloe, will be stepping in for this map number 2. So maybe this must be a situation like with the varsity team where they sub in Noxious, in certain modes. Usually we would see that in like a flashpoint or a push. So maybe that's where they're anticipating we're going next.
Well, that could definitely be the case. I think I like when teams of ours do this sometimes, just because of the fact that you could be game planning for someone and then you just have the elite switch up and you have no idea what to expect, right? And this is a lot easier to deal with when we're talking about your squishies like a DPS or a support. Obviously, they have a big impact on the game. But, guys, let's not beat around the bush here. Usually, game planning revolves around the tank.
Yeah.
When you switch out your tank for another tank player on a map that Western Michigan are picking, assuming that you're going to get one person and you get dealt another card, I mean, that's got to be jarring. That's got to be extremely jarring. And that's a huge thing that this team can do. And I don't know if you have to really announce stuff like that pre-game, but even if that is the case, you still got to think it's going to make Western Michigan keep guessing. We already know what they kind of play like on one map. Now we're going to switch up things on them completely.
Yeah, and I think when you're a team like that, to sort of game plan around multiple people, it can be tough.
They just
right?
swap their whole squad.
Let's bring Tread, get in here. It can be tough, right, when you have to deal with, multiple people, and I think it goes to show how deep, this team is, right? It's like because when you're able to sort of sub in players and move pieces around, it goes to show they have a team that's not afraid to change things up a little bit, and yeah, I mean, you look at people that have a lot of subs, even Western Michigan as well. They have an army of subs on their team, so we might even see a bit of a change on that side as well. I mean, it's definitely very possible. It just depends on the mode we're going to. I don't know if Prod has any intel on where we might be going. But
I'm sorry, my water bottle's making this really weird squeaky noise, and it's really annoying me. I'm sorry.
We have no intel yet. We can just keep yapping. I don't know what you're talking about. You're just yapping.
No.
Water bottle.
Yeah, just anyway.
We all heard it, by the way. We all heard you take the drink.
Yeah. I was gonna say, sorry. I don't really know why my water bottle's doing that, but all good. Anyway,
I think Prod might have broken it. He might have broken
Oh,
it.
wait.
I think he
didn't
owes
think
you a new
about
water
that.
bottle now.
Nah, it's all good. It's
So
all
you
good.
need one like me. That's like
I do, man. It even
a
has like
big
the
one.
daily. Like,
I don't follow that. I just drink it as I please.
Sure.
That's why I have stickers all over it. I don't even like.
Okay.
But the only problem with this one though is, well, I guess it doesn't matter because yours is also plastic. But if you like your water bottle to keep it cold for like, 6 or 7 hours,
Right.
no meme intended. You should probably get.
How long does pre-fire keep your hands warm for?
Oh, that's a great question, Patrick. Let's take a look at the wrapper. 8+ hours of warm hands for all of your gaming needs.
I'm not gonna lie. To me, it's helping me cast. It's helping me
It's
kind of fidget
it's also
around
it's
and,
also
like,
it's also just something to. Wait, what?
I think we're going to Atlas.
Atlas.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that one. What? Atlas. See, I retired from Overwatch in like 2022.
Right
so,
with
like,
you,
there's
brother. I think I retired earlier.
There's a bunch of stuff that I have not seen. Is this a? Hold on. What's the mode, Prod? What mode are we going to? All right. Well,
if it's a newer map, I would assume it's probably going to be a flashpoint.
probably. I guess. Hey, I guess we'll wait and see. We'll learn as we go, I guess.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what?
Oh, okay.
Hopefully...
Quick little mog for stream.
Hey.
Some mog maxing. Is that what the kids say?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know, Ev. I don't really know where to go from here. I gotta be honest.
I don't know either. Why do I feel like that's how all these Overwatch streams end up going?
Man, I wonder why. It's almost like me and you haven't played the game in years.
Oh,
but
we're going in. Thank God.
So we don't have to wait any longer.
Thank God.
Hopefully the team's ready to go, obviously, as they are now all checked in, and Map 2 is upon us. Map 1, for those just joining in, saw St. Clair downing Western Michigan Club in 2-0 fashion in a game of domination on Lijiang Tower. Hopefully, if the science of history of probability serves me correct, that means that we're going to win the next 2 games and we're going to go home early.
Well,
but,
that would be delightful.
I could have just cast a curse.
And, yeah, you literally just did. So, thanks.
Well, how many times have I done stuff like that? Not very often.
Oh, I can't think of any time. I can't think of any time where you had done that.
Yeah,
Definitely
no.
not at No Man's Land.
Nope.
18.
I don't know what you're
I mean,
talking
that was
about.
kind of like reversed, I guess. I guess it didn't end up going that way. But I mean, we all know where we were at No Man's Land 18.
I know where both you and me were mentally at No Man's Land 18.
I mean, it's chalked when after like hour 13 you got to put the winter jacket on. I had my jacket on. It was
You did.
It was over. I was like getting like it was such a weird like I don't even know how to describe it. But I can describe to you
it's Flashpoint.
This map. I think I have seen this map before.
We
actually.
have. We've
I think
seen
we have
Tread
seen-
on Zarya
This is a
absolutely
Flashpoint
dominated.
map. Yes,
Dropped like
this
40
is-
consecutively and didn't die.
But Kevin Fart. Oh no, the Emery? Okay, I see how you're moving, young man.
The Mauga is really what I'm more thinking about right now. It's
a power move right there.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't know if the meta's shifted, but
I don't think we have not seen Emery in any of our varsity games. I mean, I don't hate the pick. I think Emery definitely has a lot of potential. I mean, it's basically just John Halo in Overwatch. I mean, it's the battle rifle, it's the grenade, like it's just Master Chief's kit. You even get the pistol as well. I mean, like it's a character that has a fairly low skill ceiling, but if you're somebody like Kevin Fart who has a nasty shot, like we're seeing right now, you can just absolutely decimate your opponents. A triple kill from Kevin Fart, and that's going to let the Overwatch ACAD team take their first steps on this first Flashpoint.
You know, he might not be meta, but
This
all I'm
might be
seeing,
orthodox,
all I'm
but
seeing is
goddamn it,
all I'm
they're
seeing is
effective.
5 bodies on the floor. That's all I'm seeing.
Yeah.
Man, that's absolutely wild. And hopefully,
St. Clair can continue to hold.
Yeah. I mean, this Smaug is definitely going to be interesting. You can totally wind up the charge and burn time. This split that they have
damage potential
is absolutely nasty. You got to watch out, though, because obviously when you only have a Brig as of right now, popping the Inspire because your other support has gone down. Going to be a little while before the Juno comes through, but man,
Bro.
Kevin is just chaining these
now.
kills right now. I mean, this is just like any other day, just another day at the office for him, clearly, because he is so calm, so composed, and he is really feeling his aim.
This is not a guy you want to run into in a 4v4 Slayer, battle rifles only, on Hang 'em High. But at least we're seeing the skill shown off here, but Western Michigan, last-ditch effort to try and take it, but St. Clair will indeed hold out and take care of point number 1. Kevin Fart continuing to just be an absolute demon with the Emery. You might be able to find this Sigma as well. It's going to get picked up from Bass, but does not matter. That might as well be an assist for Kevin Fart. He has been the star for St. Clair thus far, and they're already on the move to point number 2.
I think with the way Overwatch works, he's still actually also going to get kill credit on that. And
Yes.
if we look at the board right now, I would assume that he is very quickly
climbing
approaching that 20 mark, and we are 1 point in. What does that say? I mean, this charge as well, the chain, the Malgald going down, the cage fight, and I will say, Desanya going to be able to pop the overclock and down the Mauga at the very least, but Stev immediately popping the pulse bomb clears off the rest of the supports for Western Michigan. You would think, yeah, they either got to concede position or they just got to die 1 by 1. It's going to only be one of the 2 options you got.
You can just tell that St. Clair are so dialed in right now. I mean, Western Michigan, all these pushes, they just continue to get shut down.
Yeah.
Right on the onset. They just can't get anything consistent going. I will give them credit. They're at least delaying this take from St. Clair, which does eventually come through. They are in control. But here come Western Michigan on the counterattack. Some ults to work with as well at Juno. Juno 1, but Stev's still in this back line, trying to duel with Alacrity. Not really going the way of St. Clair in that team fight, as Western Michigan will take their first bits of control on this second point, but St. Clair, they retreat to regroup. They do have the Juno ult to work with on their side, but that's going to be about it. It's going to be Kevin Fart who's online next.
Yeah, and I think, you know, the number one thing as well is how much value the dive is going to get from both sides here when you have a Brig in the back line, and that's the problem, is that with Steve and Kevin, it's kind of like pick your poison. One is just absolutely destroying everything that crosses his sight lines, and Steve is able to also get into the back line and just take control of certain characters to completely manipulate where their sights are going. No one can focus on a battle on 2 fronts, and St. Clair, they're just slowly deciding, hey, where do you want to concede pressure from? Because either way, it's happening whether you like it or not.
Well, they're definitely going to have to concede a little bit here as Kevin Fart, he's going in with his ult. Not going to be as effective as the last time we saw it, but at the very least, it's at least pushing Western Michigan back a considerable amount. They're going to be in a very interesting position here with Steven potentially being able to set up a little bit of a pinch. He's going to have his ult to work with, so that could be devastating if he can land that properly. And I think he has at least 1 target in sight. Potentially not anymore, because once again, Kevin Fart leading the way and just taking all the kills.
Yeah, I mean, this guy's just absolutely disgusting. And don't get me wrong, his team is definitely enabling a whole lot of these as well. So to me, regardless of what the stats look like, a team effort right now from St. Clair, is it's not like Kevin's obviously been isolated for 90+% of his picks. With that being said, he's landing the shots when they matter most, and he's doing his job of picking up the frags when his team expects him to. And honestly, I think maybe even overperforming a little bit, even for their expectations, which is always a great problem to have as the cage fight going down. You got to think now, with the team kind of locked off, this pulse bomb, oh, if it hit, it would have been nice, but regardless, the pick goes through. Kevin to take down another, and when you've lost both supports in the DPS, yeah, it's only really a matter of time before you can see the team fight, isn't it, Ev?
That's like their 3rd team kill in this game.
And I don't think that number's gonna be shrinking.
Like, I guess I understand, you know, you swap to the Diva, you have the defense matrix to maybe to maybe delete some of those projectiles coming through from Kevin Fart, but I think that's just a temporary band-aid for this problem. And Western Michigan, I mean, I think this is really where we're starting to see the skill diff come into play here. Because, yes, they were able to find a decent bit of percentage on point number 2, but I think St. Clair knew that they were always in control of this series, and I think this is really their map to lose at this point. They're going to lose control for a little bit. Western Michigan, they finally are able to break through this defense, but you know that St. Clair, they're going to be pushing, and they will have at least one ult to work with, and Kevin Fart not too far behind.
I mean, it's going to be the tale of 2 Juno ults to try to see what team can build the charge off faster, and I'm not going to lie. Yeah, Kev off that Juno ult might be absolutely disgusting.
On demon time?
Yeah,
yes.
I mean, not that he hasn't been so far this game. The guy's looking like he's going to chain another one. This Reaper's not going anywhere. The ult goes through, and now it's actually going to be Western Michigan off their Juno ult that is doing really good off of this. Steve, though, going to be able to find a double kill with this Pulse Bomb. The Brig being fired on here, but Kev, you got to back up. Mauga's got to try to build you space, but at the same time, you got to wait for that Juno to come through. Your healing resources, they have dwindled.
I will give Western Michigan credit. That was a very solid use of the Juno ult coming through from Raider. I mean, that basically is what saves this game for Western Michigan. We are still continuing to play, and they might have a chance to steal this point away, but here comes Kevin Fart on the Emery ult. Is going to be able to find one support for Western Michigan, but not the other one, and that's going to be a little bit deadly as still have the Inspire up, and he's just going to have to get right in there to deal with it. Only Jonah left standing. He's swallowed up by this offensive attack from St. Clair. Back in control, 67%. They hold this perfectly. They'll sweep this 1 in 3.
Yeah, you know, this really sucks because the other members of the team that have come through, they need to try not to give away free picks before their diva joins them and stagger themselves as now St. Clair repositioning. They know the dive's going to come in at some point. The contest has to come through. The Brig going to be the first one on it, but wow, I mean, the cage fight here is absolutely gross. Mauga controlling all of the pressure. Yes, the cage gets popped, but at the end of the day, who's really losing more resources? St. Clair, they're putting on a clinic right now. Kevin Fart, end it off. Don't die, sir. At least Love Note's going to be able to do that for you, and hey, 100%, there goes the way of it. Flashpoint in a sweeping fashion, and St. Clair, they look to be on sweep watch in Overwatch 2-0.
Well, I'm hoping they can continue that mantra right now, and who couldn't? Or who wouldn't be the one to get the play of the game? Looks like his little player title is Giant Troll. Would you say that was what we saw a lot of in that game? I don't think so.
That's what Aesthetic Sock was doing, and hey, you know what? I mean, I don't know if the Mauga is meta right here, but hey, you know what?
Hey, it worked.
It worked. And if you got the Giant Troll working for you, then hey, that's just, to me, that's mentally shocking to Western Michigan.
Yeah, and now your backs are against the wall, and you've just been dominated all night thus far. I mean, there have been some bright spots, but not enough to string together a consistently good map.
The thing with me is, remember, this is Western Michigan's game mode and map pick. So they had all of the resources lied in front of them, and they thought, what is the best thing for us and the worst thing for them? And they went ahead with all that time, decided that this was the setting they wanted to bring us to, and this was your result.
Yeah.
I mean, that's scary. There's not really any other way to put it here, Ev.
It's definitely looking pretty scary. I mean, like we said, you're already down 2 right now. You maybe try and switch the map in your favor and try and change the pace, but St. Clair they were just ready for it. I mean, they just look so dialed in right now. And I mean, if this is what the standard is for this team, I mean, I think we've missed out. Whoa, look at you.
Dude, I'm hitting the Yap Fest right now. Look at this.
Right now.
I didn't even notice. I was so dialed that
stealthy.
Didn't even see the wireless pop through. But
they got you, man.
That might have been the best high-pitched gotcha I've ever heard in my headset. That was so hard not to laugh at the moment. I'm sorry.
hey, Prod's got to have some fun.
Yeah.
And we did catch the nice little fist bumps at the end. Team in high spirits right now is...
Shout out reactionary replays. Who's getting those? John? John Replay, are you back
I would
there?
assume so.
I don't remember. I don't think he actually is. So if that's not him, then hey, that's probably not good. But oh man,
Somebody's
you know what?
doing
I
it.
deserve every bad thing that's happened to me this broadcast just off of that alone. But hey, look, kudos to whoever's grabbing those because they're quite worth it. And right now,
like
Saints
Chloe's.
Overwatch showing that they are getting a lot worth out of their time on stream so far. 2-0 right now,
Definitely.
Ev, and they're going to be going over to Western Michigan's next map and game mode of their choice.
Yeah, what are we thinking here? Are we thinking a payload, or are we think
I
it's
think
going to be
you got
pushed?
it.
What do you think? I don't know. It's just the way St. Clair's been so aggressive. I think, it's tough either way because if you look at either like a push or a payload map, it's like okay, we have a team that is not afraid to push the pace, be aggressive, and use their tank to create space, which they have been very effective with. Do you do it on a payload map where if you start on defense, you get absolutely rolled and then just run into a brick wall when you go in next? Or do you try your luck at push where, yes, you can disrupt them, but if you lose those first couple team fights, it's going to be over in like a blink of an eye.
I don't know what Chloe was like clapping and laughing at, but whatever it was, I'm scared for Western Michigan. I'm assuming that was probably
something devious.
Well, I was assuming that was probably the reaction to the map that came in, and I was like, oh, okay, we might have shot a dud with that one, unfortunately.
Well, we'll just have to wait and see unless Prod has any insider information they could share with us. I'll take their silence as a no.
They definitely don't seem scared.
Well, that's good. Like,
Where
you
they're
should-
going.
I'm not nervous. What are they prepared to do about it?
Well, we got the giant troll. Or Western Michigan, some giant troll slayers.
All right, that's true.
Shout out to the Michael Irvin call out. If you know, you know. I'm sure no
here we
one
go.
but
I'm
me
getting-
and you gets that reference. Maybe Hayden in the back understands, but yeah, unfortunate.
Getting educated in Twitch chat right now. It sounds like Emery is meta. I wouldn't know, but now I do know.
Well, that's hilarious because Soaks was literally sitting here, and I remember saying, like, not too long ago, he was like, oh, yeah, Emery's just kind of like, whatever, better people. I mean, I don't even think he said that. I think he just flat out called Emery garbage.
Damn.
But then, again, it's also Soaks. So,
Well,
the
yeah,
guy just kind of says stuff.
Do you
and-
trust Soaks for his Overwatch DPS character opinion when he's the support player?
Yeah, you know, he plays
This guy plays
Jetpack
Jet-
Cat.
this
I
guy
don't- yeah,
unironically picked
Owen,
Jetpack
Owen made a
Cat
very
in-
good point in
in a
my
NACE
headset right there. Yeah, he
production.
plays Jetpack Cat. I don't really know anymore. That definitely has me questioning a little bit more.
You're watching, Philip. We can have this conversation another time.
I'd actually like to, maybe a proper one, but
Hey, you know, maybe he'd be watching the stream if we were on Billy, because like, he loves that site. Apparently, he says that's where he streams exclusively. So if you wanna tap into Soaks's POV streams and his scrims, make sure you check him out on Billy Gaming.
What?
you could ask him about it. You could ask him about it. Okay, all right. Prod said that the map is the snowy one. Wait, is that that's Toronto?
Oh, New Queen.
It's
wait,
Toronto.
Is it New Queen?
Yeah, New Queen
No,
Street.
not
Oh wait,
New
not
Queen
that
Street, not the snowy one.
Wait,
with the
there's
push map?
another. Wait, no.
There's another snowy push map.
No, wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. It's the second. It's the second Omnic. Isn't it the second Omnic Monastery map? Maybe. I don't know. I've been out of the loop.
Shambali Monastery? I'm like, I don't remember there. Am I like?
I don't know, man. I've been out of the game for a while.
The thing that scares me is they're saying the snowy one, and I'm like, so we're yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I was right.
Yeah, Shambali Monastery.
Yeah.
There you go. Well done.
Thanks.
And
All
hey,
right, anyway.
I got the actual name right as well. So hey, you know what?
Oh my goodness.
Maybe we
Zenyatta in the big 2-6.
I mean, we are in a monastery. This is like
I mean,
his...
true. Does that, like,
This would be
that
the
home
domain.
field advantage? Oh,
Maybe.
no, we swapped to the Curio. Okay. I was going to say. What with the Orisa for the side of Western Michigan? Definitely has potential to be a little bit of a bully tank, but definitely a lot of weaknesses you can exploit on this Orisa. And I think on the onset, I think St. Clair's choice of Zarya going to be a lot stronger.
Yeah.
Especially if Aesthetic Sock can get rolling early. We see the damage they can do when someone like Tread takes control of someone like Zarya. I mean, Death Star laser almost the entire time. It seems sometimes.
Genji,
Get a
the
Zarya
Genji
cooking.
experience helps out with that,
Well,
you know?
obviously. But what is going to help is St. Clair stalling out this first push, and this is definitely the problem we can run into if you're Western Michigan starting on offense first. If you can't get very far, I think you might as well write that one off, because you know that St. Clair is going to be coming out ultra aggressive.
Swap already
On this
well,
next one, and
makes
yeah,
sense,
like you said,
but-
you swap to the Ramatra. I think this is a better choice coming through, but we'll have to see if the rest of Western Michigan can start contributing. Looks like they've elected to take an Emery as well, so I think they might have been a little peeved at what Kevin Fart was able to do to them last game.
Well, I will say that Western Michigan, they have, with Bast and Love Note, found the support kills, and just like that, they should be able to grasp a foothold here. Should be able to at least get most of the way to that first checkpoint before everyone else is able to get back in. The Zarya obviously having to come through from such a great distance, and most of these guys right now, yeah, you can just take the fight to St. Clair, keep them at bay, and have a couple keep on moving that payload. The snare comes out from the Sojourn, and that's kind of big because it just frees up a little bit of the point. It restricts movement, which means that players like Kevin Fart can kind of hope to get what they want out of their ult. But nope, the Emery diff actually comes down. The Kitsune rush, the wall from the Mei as well to deny entry from St. Clair. I really like what I'm seeing right now out of Western Michigan as they take their first point.
Definitely the best they've looked so far, and I mean, it's definitely a double-edged sword when you have an ult like with Emery, where you're just sort of stuck in the air, frozen like that. You're just a dream for any hit scan player. I mean, it doesn't really get any easier than that, and Desania is able to take advantage of that, and Western Michigan, they're creating a lot of space right now as these Mei walls are just donut walling them away from the payload, and St. Clair, they just looked a little, I don't want to say like disorganized, but a lot of these pushes that have come through, you can tell that the full team has not been there, and I think it's going to take a couple ults for them to get back in the game, because this Ramatra pick has really been paying off for Western Michigan, and the pure aura that Jonah is bringing in is enough to kill Aesthetic Sock, and Desania again proving that this Emery pick also another strong choice for Western Michigan, because they have looked very, very strong thus far.
I mean, that's just really rough, especially through the Graviton surge from the Zarya, but I get it. At the end of the day, Aesthetic Sock, if she wants to switch to get the Ramatra on Ramatra fight going, if you think you can have the diff, then you might as well burn the ult, see if you can get any more value out of it. What I'm really more interested in seeing is right now how Kevin Fart is going to be able to get in your face and see if you can try to cause some disarray in the back line. The drill goes through, and it's actually going to be able to pick up the Lucio, and immediately off of that, I've already found some value. St. Clair, they can just back up and keep playing off of this time burn they've created.
This is great. You know, give yourself a little bit of breathing room. Not sure how much time is left in the round, unfortunately, but if you're St. Clair, you want to make sure you hold out as long as you can and just push this payload slowly back, and like I said, give yourself some breathing room and just get things back under control, because Western Michigan definitely been putting up a fight, and that definitely is going to help with this team kill. That's definitely going to be a bit of a confidence booster, and you have ults to work with as well for this next push from WMU.
Yeah, I mean, St. Clair, they're going to have the beat drop in response as well to anything that comes their way. All being said, Alacrity does have, obviously, the Kitsune Rush, which will last longer, inevitably, then the beat drop. So if you're Bass, maybe you try to save this one out. And hey, you know what? Steve and Kevin, they're finding their pickups right now. Why burn the beat drop when you are simply answering back? I mean, that's
PM.
That's
right
such
there.
PM. And yeah, I mean, this is just tough. St. Clair, they seem to have forged a steel curtain, if you will. And I mean, they are not budging at all.
I don't know if that's a great metaphor, because if you know your history, Patrick, you know that steel curtain did not last forever. But hopefully this St. Clair defense
It's only going to last for one game.
is going to be able to outlast this Western Michigan attack, because they're just doing their best to hold them back and spawn, finding all these picks that they need, and this payload going to be pushed back. It should be pretty difficult now for Western Michigan to find this next checkpoint. They just need to find a way through. I mean, you do have the beat drop. You have Jonah's ult to work with as well, so I think that's what you're going to be looking for to create space. And like we called it, both ults getting used immediately right off rip, but it does not matter. Ramatra diff coming through for St. Clair, and Bass with 2 picks of his own. St. Clair withstanding the attack once again. Should be another team kill coming through. They are looking incredibly comfortable right now in the late stages of this first round.
Man, I mean, they are just absolutely not letting Western Michigan get anywhere. This is
C9 though.
So dominant from them. And man, I think that, you know, you can really tell St. Clair when they wanted to switch things up. Yeah, they definitely did. Aesthetic Sock switching over to the Ramatra was definitely no joke.
Yeah.
As now Western Michigan, they find themselves back against a wall, and they got to try to keep themselves pushing forwards, because St. Clair, they're now going to switch over to the offensive, and they don't really have to get all that far here, Ev.
No, and I definitely prefer, like, if it was me, I would definitely prefer to start on the defense first, because now I know exactly how far we need to make it in this next one. And if it's going to be similar to what we've seen from our varsity team, we know how they like to play that, and it's just be as aggressive as possible.
Just punch you straight in the mouth.
Exactly. Use the tank to create space, generate opportunities for your DPS to find picks, and it doesn't look like it's going to be much of a change in terms of a comp for both sides. I think both teams are fairly comfortable with what they've been bringing out thus far. I think if you're Western Michigan, though, if you start losing some of these early team fights, might have to start changing that comp, because, like we said, this is your last chance. You know what you need to do to extend this series to a fourth map, I should say. But they've definitely looked the best, I think, on this third map. But will it be enough to stop St. Clair?
Well, there's only one way to find out, and with 5 seconds left to go before we get that answer, St. Clair, they've got their gloves on. They're ready to hit the ground running. And now, Kevin Fart and company looking to see if by pace of play you can absolutely pull a fast one on Western Michigan. Steve on 100 charge right now, trying to see if you can pick out a squishy for the rail shot. It's going to be the dive in the back line from Kevin Fart. The updraft's going to be able to try to see if you can get the slam down. It's not going to work, but you get some players low, and the Maywall going to have to be popped out for Western Michigan to see if they can even just revitalize themselves. But in doing so, you got to give up some positioning.
And you do slow down this counterattack from Western Michigan, because you're using this venture as sort of like a distraction almost, right? You're sort of drawing attention away from this payload, and yeah, you're not able to find some kills, but you're at least slowing down WMU. And Kevin Fart now back in the game, trying to find some way forward. That's good progress for St. Clair right off rip, but they will be stymied the early goings of this attacker side. But it's okay for now, as you just need to wait for the rest of the team to regroup. And Aesthetic Sock back on the objective, making forward progress for St. Clair. Kevin Fart still trying to make some progress. He's going to have to be forced out. The ground will escape with his life. Now Stev, the onus is on you to try and take advantage of the damage that Kevin Fart was able to create.
Man, and I mean, you really want to just talk about just smash mouth play style. This venture has just been going absolutely insane. That really, it has been those two changes of Kevin Fart swapping and also aesthetic sock on the ram, that simply this brawl, Western Michigan, they are having no luck whatsoever finding anything. Because when you play so fast, it's really tough as well. Like this May, I get it. You want to try to find an isolated pick. When everyone's got movement tech and ways to get around this wall as
You can
well,
only
though,
do so much.
you know what I mean? Like, is it really that big of an issue? It's not. And if it is, it's not for a very long time.
And now the ult's starting to come through for St. Clair, or I should say Western Michigan, is Visania going to be the first one to pop, but Kevin, or Stev, I should say, also answering in response, is able to find the May. Kevin Fart, the pick on the counter Sojourn. Jonah not being able to survive. Ramatra diff once again for St. Clair. That's 3 picks going their way and so much space created. This should be Western Michigan's last chance to stop them at the goal line.
Yeah, it definitely is. And unfortunately for Western Michigan, if you're looking at the board right now, not that they can for us, we're in the know that St. Clair, they definitely have the ults to make this one count. The beat drop's going to get popped right here, and this is Western Michigan's last sort of hoorah at it. St. Clair, if they really wanted to, not that they'd know, but they could just technically concede position and win off the next team fight with their ults. But they're going to elect to pop right now, and why shouldn't they? Already down the Ramatra on the other side, and that's going to be all she wrote. Eventually, the whole team just dominoes out, and hey, Ev, you have won the not Evan battle.
Thank God I can keep I can keep my name. We know who the real not really Evan is right now, whatever you want to call it. And I think I also know who a really good Overwatch team is. The St. Clair ACAD team. They came out and put on a show for us on stream. So shout out to you, Overwatch ACAD, making the most of their opportunity. And look at them. They're just, looks like they're still pretty dialed in right now. You wouldn't think they just won a NACE playoff match, but GG's all around. They know what they had to do into this game, and they definitely made the most of it. Really, really good stuff from the Overwatch team. Happy to see them moving on.
Yeah, absolutely. They go on to face UWG, the 14th seed in the next round of playoffs, and based on a showing like that, if I'm UWG, definitely some notes that I want to be taking away from this matchup, as, again, they do have that advantage. You can always catch it on VOD.
It's true.
One, UWG, give us some views.
Please.
but hey, you know what? At the end of the day, I think this, with the versatility that this team has showed, they've done a good job at somehow switching it up so often and being so dominant that they haven't really showed their hand of cards and what they really, to me, are like when they completely lock in a comp that seems to be secure on what they want to play like. Because these guys can just switch things up at a moment's notice.
And that's a scary thought as well. If
it's a good thing
if
to
you're
have.
trying to VOD review against a team you're playing against and you don't have all the information, it's kind of scary to think about that.
Flexibility, my worst nightmare.
Really?
No, like I'm talking in terms of them when they're looking at.
Oh, I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about yourself. But we'll move past that. Either way, like you said, the way that this team has, the ability to be, like you said, be flexible, and they're able to change things around. You sub in Chloe for the last 2 rounds there, and she was really able to just pick off where Sammy left off. It didn't really seem like we were missing anything there from the the great tank play we saw in map number 1. It was just consistent across the board, and Coach Buff as well. But great stuff. Congratulations to our ACAD team. First day on stream, first win in the NACE playoffs, and hopefully we'll get to see them next week, and hopefully get to see us again soon, because that's going to be it for us here in the studio. You know what, Patrick, it's kind of weird. Now that Soccer FS is done, we have nothing to plug anymore, so I guess we could just get right in. We could just get right into thank yous, Thank you, Patrick, for being here with us, and shout out to the Pro team, Owen, Hayden, Miguel, Adrian, Adam as well. It was John who was doing our replays tonight, so thank you, John, for putting in lots of work tonight, and obviously thank you to our sponsors for putting in some work to keep the lights on here. We got a shout out to Tim Hortons, Subway, Alienware, Pre-Fire, Onezo, the St. Clair SRC, and the Alumni Association. What do we say, Patrick?
Thank you, sponsors.
We will be back tomorrow for some CRL, the last regular season CRL matchup. That's going to be you, Patrick, and Alelo on the cast. We're so excited for that. Make sure you tune in tomorrow night to see how our Rocket League Green team finishes in CRL. But until then, we hope you have a great night, Saints Nation.
We slept with our heads together. We had the same dream. A new town in the window of a tree.